Welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial we are going to make this beautiful spiral banana twist in a very simple or easiest way to make it. Okay, so please, this is how the front looks like, this is the back, and let's begin with the materials and the measurement. So I'm using paradise satin fabric. This is my matching thread, my scissors. The next thing you need is your tape measure. Bring out your tailor's chalk. You need some pins and needle. Okay, so the measurements, one more thing is the foam. You can use either 1-inch foam or 1/2-inch foam. So here are the measurements that I'm going to use to make this design. This is my fabric for the design on top. Okay, I'm starting with the design on top because some of you already know how to make the base. So with the design, I'm using 35 inches at the length area. Make sure that the stretchy part of your fabric is where that 35 will be. Okay, the length. And then the width, I am using 28. Between 28 to 30 is perfectly okay. So to begin with it, bring your tailor's chalk and mark 1/2 inch at the beginning of your fabric this way. Now connect it with your long ruler, okay, to get a nice line. So we are going to insert the foam. So to insert your foam, the measurement for the foam is 1 inch at the width area, and the longest part is 29. Okay, 29 by 1 inch width. So this is how to insert it. Put it at the wrong side of your fabric. Put the foam at the wrong side of your fabric, and then use your pins to hold it at where you mark your 1/2 inch. Okay, pin it this way. I'm taking my time at this stage because I want you to get the formula very well, so that if I should escape the remaining one, you have already gotten the concept. To our sewing machine, I am going to sew on the side of it. Please don't sew on top or on the foam. Okay, sew on where you mark the 1/2 inch. Okay, sew on top the 1/2 inch allowance there too. Let it be. I'll let you know why we left it. So this is how or what you should get. So I am done. I'm going to insert the second one by just cut the thread, and then let's go again. So this is the inside and this is the outside of it. Okay, so you see the 1/2 inch space, or the half measurement we left from the beginning. Yes, we are going to measure 1/2 inch again. Okay, so measure 1/2 inch again on the right side of your fabric. Then bring one of the foam. We are going to put it inside the wrong part of the fabric this way. But you see the 1/2 inch, okay, is what we are going to pin again. So basically you can just even decide not to mark that 1/2 inch, then you just consciously leave space between it when you sew. After sewing it, when you go to the next foam, just leave some space in between it, then you sew. You get the same outcome, trust me. So but because, as I said earlier, I am teaching, so I have to teach the right thing. So I'm going to stitch. Please make sure that you are not stitching on the foam, just at the side of it, or follow the 1/2 inch mark you just marked. Okay, one more thing, you see or you realize that the beginning of that 1/2 inch I left, I use my pin to hold it down. If not, by the time I sew, it might affect it. So please, you can just use your tape, your pins to hold them down. Okay, so this is the second one. We are going to the third part again. So I'll do the third one, then maybe with the remaining three I'll just do it off camera. So I am marking my half inch, half inch again. Then I just mark them out straight. Okay, then I insert it inside again this way. Then I'm going to continue with the pinning. I pin, I'll pin it, leaving my half inch in between. I'll continue to pin it. Okay, and then I'm going to our sewing machine. You see how I am using my pins to hold the half inch at the beginning down. I don't want problem. I want my work to be free when I'm sewing it. So I'm going back to my sewing machine to sew. I'm sewing. I'll sew till I get to the end of it without sewing on my foam, So this is that. So I've done all the 6, and then after I insected all the 6, okay, I want to use the half inch space or allowance I left from the beginning. But when I finish, I realized that the end part, the allowance there is more than half inch, so I have to trim some out of it so that it can remain with only half inch. Then I join those half inch at the beginning and half inch at the end together, and I went to my sewing machine to sew them together. Okay, so I'm done sewing, and this is my work. Look at it. Okay, so it is time for us to do the twisting. Okay, you just squeeze it, like you just try to do it as if you are squeezing water out of your clothes. So you twist it that way. Then if somebody is not there, how will you do it? So please let somebody help you with the other side so that you can tag the other side or one side of it with your thread and needle, which I'm going to start with my tagging. Okay, I've gotten someone to help me, so I am tagging or using my thread and needle to tag the side. I'll do that quickly, then do or repeat the same procedure for the other side, and that will be all with this one. Okay, so I am done with the other side and this side, so I'll just cut my thread and then use my hand to retie. You see, after I left it, I realized it's still opening, so I'm going to do some invisible tagging in between those the half inch we left in between them. Okay, those spaces I'm going to tag it. You see, use those tagging that the thread wouldn't be showing outside. If you are into headwear, I think you should understand what I'm trying to say. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm done, and that's how it looks like. We are now going to create a loop. Okay, you can also use a belt for the back, but I'm going to use loop. So here I'm going to do or join the two edges together. Look at what I'm trying to do. Okay, so I'll do it this way, then like use my thread and needle. At this point, because you have joined the two end, it has become heavy. Your sewing machine might not sew it, so just use your thread and needle to do your tagging or your stitching. Just a normal stitch. So do it well. So then now the measurement for the loop is the length we are going to use. The fabric we are going to cut for the loop is 7 inches and the width is 6 inches. Fold the fabric and go and sew the opening area. Now you can now turn your fabric into its right side, then you just use it to wrap that area. Go and sew at the very edge of it, okay? Then you use your scissors to trim off the allowance left. You use your scissors or your hand to turn the where you have sew inside, and you let the beautiful side come out. And that is all for this design. In case if you don't know how to make the base under it, then let's go to the base. To make your vein pleated base, this are the 3 things that you are going to need. You see, it comes with the band, the base, and the 2 handle for adjustment in case if it is big for the person. So the measurement for the base is 26 inches because we want it to get it a backdrop at the back, and the width is 12, okay? And then the pleated band, okay, the vein pleated band in front measures 17 inches length and the width is 11 inches. Please cut 2 of them. And this fabric is also 2, which is the handle. It also measures 11 inches length by 3.5 inches width. So after you have cut 2, join all the 2, fold it into 2, and then slant the edge to get that nice shape, okay? That is optional though. So the vein, to form the vein band before you attach it to the base, you are going to mark 1.5 inches, 1.5 on the length area this way. Then you use your ruler to mark or rule it out. Then you flip or fold 1/2 inch. Why we added the 1/2 to the 1 to make it 1.5. Yes, use the 1/2 inch to hem it. Then you fold it on top of your 1.5. Then you sew it this way. You sew it this way. Before you sew it, you have to pin it. Pin it first before you go and sew, so that you can get a straight line. So I'm going to sew at this part, the edge of it. Then after sewing, you start pleats. You either pleat 3 or 4 or 5, depending on how you want it, okay? So I'll pleat it like this. I'm showing you only one. I'll go and do the rest of camera and car. So you see, I've zoomed in. So bring your pin, then you use it to pin. Please, if you want your pleats, okay, bigger than this, you can just decide it. You can just decide. Yes, the pleating is optional. So I went in with this simple pleating, the smaller version of it, and then this is how my band came out. Okay, so I'm going to close it and attach it to the base. So before you attach it to the base, fold your base into 2 and notch the midpoint of it, okay? Small one. Now we have the midpoint or the middle part of our base. Then we are going to cross this to form the V. So to get a perfect V base, okay, you are going to slant it like this. You want it to relax on the person head. You want it to relax on the person head. So please, let me redo it again. Look at how I've done it. You see, I didn't make it vein like that, but I was able to put it on top of the other one so that it can relax once I attach it to the base. So look at where I sew to here. That I'm going to trim off the excess fabric around it this way. I will fold the fabric or the 2 band into 2 this way after sewing. Then also indicate or notch the midpoint of it so that there will be balance, or it will be perfect on my hair, so that it will not shift on my client or customers head when they buy it. So I'll notch it and then attach it to the notch on the base too, then use my pins to hold them together this way. You pin them together this way. Okay, so after pinning it, I'm going to my sewing machine to sew at the back of it so that I can get a straight line. Then look at it. After I sent it to my needling machine, I needling the edges and voila, look at how beautiful this came out. Look at it. So before we attach our belts, okay, please fold your base into two this way and then bring your tailor's chalk and mark 4 inches at the bottom to shape your base. Okay, you mark 4 inches, and this corner you just use your tailor's chalk to trace it out and then cut it out. You can now insert your, what we call it, your preferred hair circumference you are working with. I'm working with 22. Okay, so I'll have to mark 11 inches. But to attach the belt, no, let me show you. Open it up this way and then let me show you how to go about this. I'm going to mark from where I mark after I indicated my hair circumference. I'll done sewing my belt, so I'm just flipping the wrong side in so that the proper side can come out. So please make sure where you have marked your hair circumference, bring it in about 1 or 2 inches, not on the exact hair circumference. Don't insert your belt on that exact hair circumference where you mark, but bring it inside about 1 or 2 inches. Okay, so that the tying will be easy. Then after you fold your fabric into two this way, then you now sew together on your hair circumference area, and then voila, you go to our weaving machine, weave the edges, and now time for you to gather. When you are gathering, make sure your thread, okay, it's 4. Okay, yes, use 4 fabrics to gather it. Then you gather and end at the very last stitch at the bottom of your band, okay, where the vein band is. Don't gather it to the end, just below where you stopped at your band when stitching. Then you secure your thread very well. Okay, at that part you wrap it around it. Then you tie it with your hand about 2 to 3 times before you cut out your thread. Okay, and that will be all for today's tutorial. Please, if you watch this tutorial till now or to the end of it, then you do one thing for me. Let me know in the comment section if you were satisfied with my explanation. This will help me to improve on my next video. And don't forget to like and share this video with a fellow headwear lover. See you in my next tutorial. Bye.